Okay, what's up there, world? How you doing? How you doing? All right. You might hear a lot of background noise. It's probably from my PS4. It seems to be overheating all the time now, and from the AC unit back there, which is always loud whenever it comes on. Take off my glasses because I'm just getting a reflection of the TV screen over there. All right. So the purpose of this video today, me and my big scruffy beard. Now I've actually wanted to make a list like this before. Honestly, I've been wanting to do like stuff like this like all the time. Because like I really like playing MMOs and games in general. But you know, because I'm such a lazy bum, I usually don't do the stuff that I plan on doing whenever I want to make a video. Or I'll start it and then I'll stop because I don't have everything that I want to make it, so I don't make it at all. This time I'm saying screw it. Basically, I keep saying I'm gonna keep saying that throughout the entire video. Basically, I made a list here of like top 10 things that I really want to see if I ever made my own game, or if there like a new game came out. These are the top 10 things I want to see. Now, this list actually started based on games that I don't like games that I really do not like, you know, and I had to find like something specific in the game to keep myself playing the game, and then after a while that one specific thing, you know, wasn't enough to keep me playing the game, so I just gave up on the game. Alright, so we're going to start the list off with we're going to start off with number 10, okay, but all of these on the list will not be games that I thought were bad. There will be like maybe 2 or 3 on the list that I don't like. Specifically, I'll tell you in a moment. All right, so we're gonna start with number 10. All right, and these just off the top of my head. These aren't any specific order of how much I really want to see them, but it's just like 10 of them, just like off the top of my head. Okay. Spell combination, like 2-player spell combination from Magica. I really like how they have that, like, I bought Magica, not recently, actually, I bought it a while ago, or did I get it for free? I think I got it for free for PlayStation Plus, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I got it for free, because I haven't had money to purchase anything for a little bit. Anyway, so, the spell combinations you can do now, in Magica you can do spell combinations of everything as a single player, but what I mean is when you can make the beams, you make a beam, and 2 players can shoot their beams together and create a completely different spell. Or if the magic that's used in those beams are opposing magics, when they collide, they'll make an explosion because the 2 magics shouldn't be combined, and it'll just like make this big damaging explosion. I think that's a really cool idea because, you know, there are elements and stuff that don't go together, or it makes sense that they don't go together, or, you know, fire does more damage to water, or ice type of monsters and stuff like that. So, you know, if you can combine like different spells and stuff in like an MMO or something like that, or like have 2 casters, like, you know, have like specific spell tree or specific abilities, that if 2 casters start to cast them at the same time, they'll get like a synergy going, and those spells will combine and they'll make a more powerful spell. You know, I think that would be a cool idea. There'll have to be multiple players to do it instead of just, because, you know, like, let's say World of Warcraft, there are like there's like the shamans, and there are mages, and shamans have control, like they can use lightning spells and whatnot, whereas mages do not. So if mages have like, you know, an arcane spell and a lightning spell, an arcane spell that they use, and then the shamans use a lightning spell, and somehow those abilities somehow combine, they can make a more powerful spell. Alright, something like that, you know. Anyway, let's see, optional cash shops from Warframe. Alright, I think this is just something that needs to be in every freaking game. A lot of people say Warframe is not, you know, Warframe sucks, blah, 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 it's not the greatest game, or whatever like that. No game is the greatest game in the world, to be honest. No game is the greatest game in the world. All games have some type of flaw to them, but I think the way they have the whole thing set up with you getting items and weapons and everything in Warframe is the best that there is right now. I mean, I really do. You know, you really, like, much of the stuff in the game that you that you actually need, you can actually get. It takes time to get it, and you don't have to spend money on it, but you can still get it, you know. Anyway, number 8, racial clothing from Elder Scrolls Online. I think it's cool that each race has their own type of clothing. Not only that, there are different types of enemy races that have their own clothing sets as well. And you know, as long as you have the proper materials and the crafting thing for the what is it? What do I want to call it? Just the crafting materials for it, schematic or whatever. As long as you have that, you can go ahead and craft it. It'll still have the same stats as some of the other clothing and everything of that same level, but at least you get to make it look a certain way. You know, you get to, if you have like an armor set you like better, you can wear that instead of wearing something that's like specific to your own character race. Okay. Number 7, Mage, the caster combat, and Neverwinter. All right. Now, what I mean by that is the basic attacks that they use. I really like how they do, like, you know, the way they have the hand movements and stuff like that when you're casting your normal spells in Neverwinter. It's really cool, especially specifically the mage. I tried playing as the other character. I don't remember how it looks. I played it, but I don't remember how these, like the necromancer. I don't remember how the combat looks for that one, but the mage one sticks in my mind very clearly because I just like the idea how they got like. It's like they're doing, like, you know, they have the little hand sign like this, and then when they cast the stuff, they're like, and they're like, it's like they're like, I don't know, man. I just like the way it looks. I think it looks really cool. All right. Anyway, number 6, the spell save on alloys or allods, whatever you want to call it. Alloys, I know they're not the first ones to do it. And that's not the first game I've seen it done in, but that's the most recent one I've seen it done in, where you can cast a spell. And like, even if you're not in combat, you'll cast a spell, and the character will hold that spell. So if it's a long cast spell, like Pyroblast or something from World of Warcraft, I keep using World of Warcraft as an example, but that's the thing that pops in my head. I know Pyroblast has like a 7-second cast or something like that. It usually has like a pretty long cast. And when you're in the middle of combat, those seconds freaking count. Anyway, being able to cast that ability, you know, and like save it, and then use it use it real quick, you know, at the very beginning of a fight without having to charge it up. I think that's a cool ability. And I also think you can, like, if you save a spell, you can actually cast another spell with your opposite hand and have the same spell over here and cast the other spell. That way you can cast a spell that actually requires you to actually charge up, and then you can blast the other one. It was something like that. Yeah, something like that. You know, and that way you can just like hurl 2 spells real quick and start them off in the fight and whatnot. I believe that's how it goes. I don't remember exactly though. Moving on. All right. Oh shoot, I dropped my controller. Anyway, the dance movements. I can't remember the name of the game. It's killing me because, like, I want to say it's Aeon, but it's not. I don't think it's Aeon. Anyway, in the game there's different races and everything, and there are different dances and whatnot you can do with the races. But the way the dancing works is that you can, like, once you hit the dance button or hit the command for it, you can move forward, you can move backwards, you move side to side, and it gives you like a different movement for each one of those. Even if you jump or whatever, you know, there's always like a different type of move for it, you know. And I thought it was real cool, you know. And I really like that about that game. There's a lot of stuff I like about that game, to be honest. You know, so many different, like, you can combine so many different, like, classes or moves and power sets and all this stuff to make so many different freaking character types. Anyway, that was number 5. Moving on to number 4, the musical instrument system on Skyforge. Now, I freaking hate Skyforge, okay? Skyforge pisses me off because you can tell it's such a freaking money grab. The game makes me so freaking mad in so many different ways. The chat system, the community, and like how and like, I can't really, whenever I say, you know, I blame the community, I can't really blame the community like 100%, but at the same time, you know, the community could try to be better if it wanted to. All right, that said, I really do believe the devs have a big influence of how the community is built in Skyforge with the way they made their game. All right. Moving on past that. Anyway, the thing I was trying to get at is the musical instrument system on Skyforge. I like how they have, like, starting off, I think when it first came out for the PS4, like right before summer. When summer hit, they came out with the first instrument, which was like an acoustic guitar, you know. And if you had like one person playing the acoustic guitar, it would play like a little bit of music. But then if you had two people playing, it would change how the song goes. All right, and then as they progressed through the game, you know, stayed more active as they continued to develop the game for the PS4 at least. Well, they did it on the PC as well, but as they continued to develop it, they would add more instruments. They came out with the Lightwave machine, I think it's called. They have the acoustic guitar out right now, and they have the acoustic guitar and the electric guitar. I don't know if they have another instrument out right now because I freaking got so pissed off at the game I just gave up on it. So yeah, man, you know, I really like how they have that system, and every time they add a new instrument, it literally adds a new instrument to the song, and it makes the song more like broader. It makes it more grand. Anyway, moving on. All right, so number 3, the boss screenshot system for Vindictus. Now, this is what actually got me started thinking about this right now. I'm playing Monster Hunter right now, and whenever you defeat one of the monsters, it takes a screenshot of the final blow. Okay, now most of the time that screenshot is not that good. It's usually pretty bad, to be honest. The only time I've gotten anywhere close to a good screenshot was if somebody else killed the thing. I just happened to be looking in their direction, and they're doing like a jump off of something, slash to the face to the monster, or something like that. You know, I haven't gotten any cool screenshots with my character specifically. All right, now the way they have it set up in Vindictus, whenever you defeat a boss, it takes multiple screenshots from multiple angles of the last hit. All right, it'll take like 3 or 4 screenshots of the last hit from multiple angles. So if one screenshot is just you just like in a weird angle with your sword in front of you where you can't see it, and the boss is doing some weird or something like that, and all you can see is the person's shield behind them blocking the attack, because the sword is in front of them and you can't see what's going on. The other angle will show you actually like with the sword stabbed inside the boss, he's like rah, and everything like that, you know. So you have multiple angles to choose which screenshot works best for that monster kill. And I think that was a really cool idea that that Vindictus has. They have other cool ideas, but I'm not going to get into that. I don't have enough time. Right? City of Heroes spell ability slot system. Now this thing, this is one of the best things I have ever seen in any video game ever. I've talked about this like with my friends and family and stuff like that, because City of Heroes, City of Villains is one of my all-time favorite games. And specifically in MMOs, it is like, if anything, it'll be the MMO that has me hooked on MMOs in general, because of how much stuff you could do in it. The slot system in that game allow you to, let's say if you had a sniper ability, you could put a slot on that ability, make it do more damage. It could have better accuracy. It could have better cooldown or recharge time on it. If for some reason the ability had like a build up time or a channeling time, it could reduce the channeling. You could do so many different things with it. If it had something that did knockback, you could increase the knockback. If you had something that did stun, you could increase the stun chance or the stun duration. There were so many different things you could slot on that ability to change how that power worked. And it worked for like all of the different abilities in the game. So if you had like a fire ability, you can make it so that it burns more, does more damage right off the bat. So just so many different things you could do with all of your abilities, so that you not only would you build your character, you know, the way you want it to look or how powerful you want it to be, you could change how the abilities work so they fight completely different from another fire user who was in the same party as you, like completely differently. I literally had a sniper character that was like so different from all the other gun users in the game. Like really, so many people were like giving me pats on the back on how I make my character. Moving on. All right. And the Repels crit system. All right, Repels, I really don't like that game at all. That's one of the games that I never hope to play again. But at the same time, I do want to play it because I want to record how that crit system works. The Repel crit system wasn't anything major. It's just that it made the combat look cooler. It made it more entertaining to play and do basic combat. Whenever your character did a critical strike with the basic attack string, it will always change how that attack looked. So it will, like, I guess the game will, like, the game automatically reads whether or not you're going to get a crit right when you cast the ability. Okay, right when the ability casts, it automatically tells, does a roll and all that stuff. So the system will know if you're going to get a crit. You might not know if you're going to get a critical hit, but the system will know as soon, like the moment that ability is cast. It does all the checks and balances between you and the enemy that you're fighting against to see whether or not you'll get a critical. All right, and so whenever the system sees that, hey, okay, well, this person did this attack, blah blah blah, and it was always basic attacks. It wasn't anything of the more advanced abilities. It was just a basic attack string. All right, so whenever your character did, like, you had like 3 different attacks, like an overhead slash, a side slash, and then a thrust. All right, instead of doing just a normal overhead slash, you do like this really cool flip and then do the overhead slash, or you do like a leg sweep to the side slash, or you'll, like, stab the person and then hit them with your elbow or something. You do something cool, to go, and it was all different. It was different for every weapon that was on that game as well. So if you had a spear, instead of just doing, like, a normal thrust, you'll spin it and then thrust or something like that. You always did something really cool to go with for the critical strike. And that was one of my favorite, that's one of my favorite, all-time favorite things in any MMO. Because it made, like, it made the whole, like, monotonous grind fights where, if you just left your character there to, just auto attack an enemy or whatever like that, instead of just looking like, they're just, sometimes they'll just like, look at that, and it just mess them up real bad, and it just looks cool and makes it look like the character actually has more skill than what you normally perceive them to have and everything like that. Because in most games, whenever you're fighting or whatever, you saw me messing around with, whenever they're fighting and everything like that, usually they'll just have a specific type of combat or a specific type of auto attack or whatever like that, and that auto attack will just be like, a normal punch, normal kick or something like that. Just a lame looking hit. But then when you get a critical, it's just the same thing. It's just, it'll have like a more of a splash effect, or a screen will shake, or the numbers will be bigger and the color orange instead of white, something like that. Whereas in Repels, it was like your character actually did something, that looked like a critical strike. It looked like your character did something different that made that hit more powerful than the other ones before. Okay, so that's part of the reason why I really like that part of the game. There's a whole lot of about Repels that I didn't like, specifically the pet system and how they have PvP literally everywhere. I hated that so much. Like, it made it so difficult to level up sometimes, because if I was trying to get in a group and go level up in the dungeon or something like that, somebody could get their pet and literally run in there and kill your entire group with their high level freaking pet. Even if they were level 5 or level 2 and your group was a bunch of level 20 people or level 40 people or something like that, their pet could be a level 200, and the pet could just go there and just walk over your entire group while they sit in the background laughing, and then they'll take your grind spot, and nobody can go and mess with that person until somebody of equal or higher level, can come in there and, like, destroy their pet or kill them before their pet can do anything, something like that. Anyway, basically, sorry for the all there, blah blah blah. Yeah, man, that's my top 10 right there. I started kind of getting burned out closer to the top of the list, but yeah, man, I want to see more stuff like that in games. If I could have a game with most of this stuff in it, that would be awesome. Anyway, peace, love, much respect. That's it for me. Bye.